What's going on? It's Justeeni here. I am officially on my training arc. Something like that. I don't know. I decided to play 24-hour games because I realize I pretty much never play 24-hour games. And those are really good at the practice for getting better at the game. So I decided, I'm going to play some 24-hour games on normal lakes just to get good at the game, really spend some time doing some deep calculation and stuff. And, I decided to do a 24-hour game and I ended up playing a game and I felt really good about it. So now I have to show off to you guys how good I am at Polytopia. So this is what this video is about. Alright, so I'm just doing kind of classic Yadakk stuff, turn 0 org, so I can see the farms. This expansion's kind of normal, so we won't talk about this too much here, but we're gonna go a bit in depth. Like you can already see, like for example, because of these resources, there's a good chance that there's a village somewhere over here, and I'm already kind of taking notes of that and how I want to develop things. Luckily, it's pretty straightforward here. I'm just going to upgrade, get an explorer. Unfortunately, the explorer goes this way. I'm kind of, I guess, expecting it, but this is going to give me a good idea of the shape of the map, so that's why I go for it. And it's kind of telling me, don't go west, like at all. So that's still some useful info. I also get the lighthouse, as a happy little gift, which is useful because if I place 2 roads, I can upgrade my capital, and that's pretty nice. So, it costs me 1 star per turn, but I can afford to do that, and it gives me some really, really good info here. I've been really liking getting Explorer in my second city. And you can kind of see this is what I was planning with the Explorer. I have exactly enough stars to do this. I know that there's a village here, but I don't have to go towards it yet. I can place some fancy schmancy roads next turn. I go like this. I meet the opponent. I can knock them off. Go for the upgrade. I find a ruin here. This warrior is basically just destined to go towards this lighthouse because the population will be useful. Again, going west is completely useless. And I want to do something with the warrior. So I go hunting because I can afford to do so. Basically, I'm kind of thinking, do I want to go riding or hunting? But if you look at the amount of stars I have, I only have 11, and riding plus like a rider and a warrior, that's 12 stars. So I go hunting instead, and you can see how the maths. So after I go hunting, then I make 2 warriors, and I have exactly 1 star left over. Now, next turn, I'll have 12 stars, enough to get a rider and a warrior. And the reason why I decided to go hunting is really just for some eco development, and I figure I probably want hunting anyway. Might as well grab it while it makes sense to do so. So that's kind of why I go hunting. Like if I go like farming construction, that's another thing with the spawn. This is something I noticed very early. This windmill spot is kind of good. I can even place a market here, windmill, and then like windmill, market. If I'm confined to just 3 cities, honestly, it's not that bad. And if I can get like hunting and then construction later, after I've kind of cleared the animals off, get a ton of population, I can probably border growth like this city, so I can get these water tiles. My economy would be really nice, and I have a way of funneling that economy into the water. I kind of have plans if I'm stuck on just 3 cities. Normally that's a really bad thing, but in this case I can kind of make do with it. But if I can get this 4th city, even better. Now, the opponent's not going to let me. That's not really a surprise though. So I go with the 5 HP, that's the only way to clear. Now, I kind of proceed with this plan. Because worst case, I don't get the village and we both just kind of fight for it. But, by at least trying to fight for it, it does something. I get Strategy Ruin, and that's actually pretty useful. Not this turn, but it will be useful. So I go with another clear with the 5 HP. I know that I'm not keeping it if I just use a 10 HP. Instead, I'm just going for trying to get some efficient kills to kind of clear it for later. Because now I want the defender. I want to clear some units, just stop them from being able to get on the city and take it. Once my defenders can get close enough, I can really start to pressure the city. Now they have riders of their own. They get a bridge, which is very costly for them, to clear this warrior off. And this warrior actually stays alive. Really nice stuff. And I kill this warrior with this rider. Very intentional, because if I killed this rider instead, you'll see that my rider is kind of stuck. So I kill with the warrior instead, kind of allowing my warrior to be sacrificed. They have units and stuff, but I make a defender. I also make 2 riders, just in case this one will be useful. I know that I can afford to do this. There's nothing important that I need to save up for. I know I'm probably getting like farming or something, either to upgrade the city or just kind of long-term in general. But I don't need it yet. I'd rather have more units to support my defenders and do something like with that. And they kind of make a misplay here, preemptively attacking this defender. Like, I get the idea. They know that it's going to step on the village. Might as well get some heals in. But unfortunately, this isn't going to pan out too well for them. Because I'm just going to step on. And then I guess they can heal this rider. But I think it's better to kind of force, like, kind of hit as late as you can. Also, very noteworthy here. I don't kill this warrior with this rider. And the reason why, there's kind of a few reasons. The main one is, if I kill this warrior, I have to place 2 neutral roads to retreat my rider to safety, and that's kind of expensive. And if you look at how many stars I have at this point, next turn I'll have 20 stars. And if we kind of look, what can I do with 20 stars? Well, I can get farming, and I can do something with that. I actually have 7 out of 10 kills, and I'm expecting there's a good chance I can actually get Gate of Power either this turn or next turn. So prepping for a giant is something I should absolutely be doing here. I'm also about to get this lighthouse, and you can see if I get this lighthouse, plus like this farm here, plus Gate of Power, that is actually enough for a giant on my capital. So that's something that I'm thinking about right now. But I know that these stars will probably be useful, so I don't want to spend roads. Also, the roads are very helpful for them. But now they step on the village, which is a very big mistake here. They heal the rider, and this is, I guess, another thing about healing the rider. This wasn't necessarily planned, but it's kind of a nice side effect of how things have been going. The 7 HP rider is really bad here, and you're about to see why. This sequence is pretty nice for me, killing the rider in just 1 hit after it healed, and I decided to just go all in on the block. I could choose to move this rider away, but it doesn't have very many safe squares. I'd have to place a road in neutral territory. And I decide to just make 1 rider here and save the rest of my stars. So I saved all these stars. I have Gate of Power. Why not go for the giant here? I was thinking about this for a while. In fact, even if I train the rider, farming, I still get the giant. It's right there. Why don't I take it? The reason why is because I know I'm going to get this village. And while Gate of Power would be really nice in this city to get a giant, I realize I don't actually need Gate of Power to get my first giant here, because I get 1, 2 from connections, and then I have 3 population here. Not only that, but there is a very good spot for my Gate of Power that you'll be able to see in just a bit. So now I finally go farming. I keep the village pretty easily. Both my riders here actually survive. They did make a misplay by hitting this rider. They actually could have killed this one, which would have been a much better play. But I capture the city, and now get an explorer. They are up in cities. Well, they were until I got this. Now they're on what looks to be 4. And this explorer. It doesn't give me any lighthouses, but I'm fine with that. And now you can see I have 15 stars. Now you're going to see what I'm doing with my monuments. You can also see my unit placements. This is actually pretty important because I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my giant pushes in the proper directions. I don't want my giant to be pushed backwards because I'm going to double monument, Park of Fortune, Gate of Power. Double giant right in the front, and I want this one to push forward. And this is a huge problem for the opponent. I have these defenders and these giants, they have a bunch of squishy units that are good in neither. And suddenly this position is horribly lost for them. At first I was just kind of stuck on 3 cities, and at one point they were up in cities, able to deny me this. But thanks to the ruin and a few outplays, suddenly this was already just really bad for them. They get their giant going, but at this point, it's too little too late. I'm just going to send both my giants here, kind of plans of either sieging or sending this giant here. I have some ideas. I can't really go in here. They've done a good job blocking, so just trying to use my giants ASAP to just pressure. That's why I wanted these giants in the front, to just instantly give them some serious issues. And I just decided to kind of upgrade, because if these attacks don't work, I still have that like backup plan. I'm on 4 cities, which is nice. And like one rider isn't going to do much to help the attack. So I decide I'm just going to build my economy while this attack happens. If for some reason it fails, that's okay. I'm still going to be in a good spot because they have to commit everything in defense, which they do. But then they realize this is dead lost because they just sacrificed everything into one giant, and I still have a healthy 40 HP giant here, which is just going to siege, and they can't defend that. This defender might get in the way if they don't do anything about it, or even if they do anything about it, I could actually place a bridge here, and then the defender can move on to here, which is sure to disrupt them. Basically, they're going to lose some cities. It's not going to be pretty for them. If they somehow hang on by a thread, I'm developing my economy in the corner, and I'm just gonna take over the water and take over the rest of the map and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty... It felt kind of a lot different than live games. Instead of like having to manage the clock and stuff, I could actually like take my time to really perfect everything. And I definitely did make some mistakes in this game. I won't mention them. I'll leave that as an exercise to the viewer to see where did I make misplays. The replay will also be in the description. But yeah, 24-hour games are kind of fun. If you guys want to see some more 24-hour games where I really have time to really play some high-level Polytopia, let me know if you enjoy these. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.